What's up, guys? Coach Al here from UnleashFIT, and we're gonna talk a little bit about fitness today. How about that? I know I look very energized. I just worked out my legs, and I did a good job. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about a little bit, and something that has been irking me. And not only that, I've been getting a lot of questions, especially from newcomers, new clients that I've been having. And the question is high reps versus low reps. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say this real quick. Disclaimer again, this is all just advice. This is only just based on my experiences with the clients that I deal with my lifestyle, and with my fitness experience. This is not something that you can do or cannot do. Take it with a grain of salt. And if you have any questions, or let's say different ways you approach this subject, you can always comment below, and we can always discuss more about it. Okay, but like I said, this is just more for like clientele's, for my clients, and just kind of like talking about it. Okay, so you have the high repetitions and you have the low repetitions, right? All right, so if you're a gym rat, or you're a person that know your knowledge about fitness, or know something about fitness, that you've been going to the gym, even if it's 3 times a week, but you have some type of knowledge behind it, you can understand that high repetitions will always be more for endurance and kind of losing weight, right? That's kind of like the mindset behind it. And then if you go really heavy, you're getting stronger and you're getting bigger, etc., right? I think that's the gold standard once you walk into the gym and you kind of see that, and a lot of people approach it that way. The thing that I do, and the way I perceive this subject, is I don't deal usually with people that go to the gym too many times, or don't even have the knowledge behind it too much. So sometimes it's hard for them to kind of understand what they're supposed to be doing, right? And usually they're based on feedbacks, or they're based on what other people do, etc. So the approach that I go with this is, the only reason, and here it goes. When it comes down to my clientele and the type of clients that I deal with, they are very sedentary lifestyles that they have. Now, what do I mean by that? They're very non-active, I would say, right? Like their parents, or like they have a regular 9-to-5 job, and they don't even have the time to go to the gym, let's say, for example, right? It's very sedentary lifestyle, right? You're doing what you're supposed to be doing during the day, and then that's it, right? The problem here is, when it comes down to me training that type of clientele, the basic thing, or the best thing that they lack on, is functionality. Now, when I say functionality, I'm not talking about that like they move, if they move or not. You can move. The body will never tell you to stop moving, right? It will always find a way to engage in whatever you want to do. Now, the question is if you're doing it right or not, right? So when I especially when I assess a client like that, few things I see. That functionality, as in meaning, you're not, when it comes down to the gym floor, and when it comes down to exercising and really engaging on the muscles that you're supposed to be kind of like engaging, they lack a lot of that. Okay, and the reason that is because they don't do it, right? If you mentally are unaware of doing it, you're never going to really pay attention to it. So that's where my job comes in. And usually I will start them off with the first 4 to 6 weeks with high repetitions, concentrated repetitions. Okay, so I don't go for the repetitions because I want them to lose weight, but my idea and the vision that I have is to make them understand the movement they're supposed to be doing. As in, if I give them a heavy weight, they're doing the wrong movement, and to them it's okay, right? I think my job is, at the end of the day, my client to be functional, to be able to move, have the proper range of motion when it comes down to exercising on their own, right? Without proper guidance. So when I direct myself with 15 to 25 repetitions, I will give them some volume behind it, or some weights, I would say, but it will be very light, and I will make them do repetitive movement over time and again and again and again. Now, what that means is, what that does is two things. Once you start doing a repetitive movement over and over and over and over and over in the right way, your body will tend to kind of like activate the way it's supposed to be after a while. After a while, you don't even think about the movement anymore, and you're doing it properly, right? Just like in life, everything happens that way, right? Once you start doing something, it might take years, but at some point you'll be doing those things without even thinking about it, right? And that's kind of like my goal of doing that. And I give them 15 to 20, 25 reps in it, very slow movement for the first 4 weeks to 6 weeks. Now that's my idea. Now, that doesn't mean that my idea, the client is gonna think that way. Most of the time, clients will get bored, they will get agitated, they'll be like, I'm not getting any gains, or I'm not losing any weight, I feel bored. You have to kind of like make it entertaining as much as possible, and that's obviously your job if you're a coach and you're watching this. I make it as entertaining as possible. I try to, in those days or those type of workouts in the beginning, I kind of like keep them moving constantly, right? Especially because you're not doing really much with a lot of weight. Rest periods is usually minimal for me. And little talk here and there, guidance and a little bit here, that's the resting period. And then let's go at it again and again and again. And repetitive movement. I tell them, repeat. And within like the 4 or 6 weeks, two things happen. One, they get better at it, and two, not only they can get better at it, but different type of changes happen to their posture also. Okay, so maybe better range of motion. They actually can touch their back with their hands, depending what they're going through, right? And that's when I progress to strength. Now, the strength-wise is now knowing that they're able to do the proper movement and everything. Now you can engage on giving them, more weight, and then they'll be focusing more now in having the good range of motion, but also applying the proper movements in order to activate or to really have the full benefit of the exercise. And those are my steps that I go through at every single client that I have. If that client has a sedentary lifestyle, they're coming back from injury, or they never just done it, right? And it is a very key thing. And like I said, look, I've been there. I know what it is to be impatient right now. You see people in shape, and let's say you haven't been in shape and you want to get into shape. Most of the people would not go that way, would not go that route. They'll just jump into the gym and they'll just start working at those muscles with weights, right? And most likely, yeah, they'll be able to make that movement, but are they doing it the right way? Are they using the proper muscles? Are they using the proper posture to engage into that workout? And most of the times is no, because you're not doing this so many times. You haven't done this in so long, and all of a sudden now you're trying to do something extremely difficult. Not only your body is trying to kind of like resist that resistance, that weight that is maybe twice as much as you, but now you are, overcoming different type of movements. All the muscles are working into it. You're doing it wrong, and you're pretty much walking into that road of I'm gonna get injured right away. So that's my take when it comes down to high repetitions, slow repetitions. And like I said, I don't go that route if that person is very active. Example, like a kid who, let's say, does sports, or an athlete. I don't go that route unless I see that they have different type of difficulties with like the shoulder or something like that. So I kind of like approach it a little bit in here and there, but everything else I go with, more weight, strength, and we kind of jump into that. But it's very, very important for anybody. I don't care if you're an athlete either, too, though, to really sometimes just take a time, take like 4 weeks to do very just light repetitions and just engaging in different type of movements, right? Because sometimes you want to make sure that you're aware of what you're doing at the same time. You want to take that, okay? You want to do that, and you're avoiding injury as much as funny as it is. And like I said, that's the goal that I do with high reps. Not the high reps has nothing to do of killing the muscle or making them extra sore or making them lose weight. Okay. Now intensity, that's different. Once you increase the intensity, obviously everything else changes too. And that's maybe sometimes a lot of people will go like, oh, that's why I feel like I'm losing weight. This intensity. You can do very, very slow reps. 50. If you're doing 15 reps, and let's say each rep is going to take you about 6 seconds to do it, you probably, 15 to 20 reps, you're doing it for like almost a minute, just non-stop movement. It does hurt after a while. So yeah, so let me know, guys, if you find this informative. Comment below. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. And like I said, I like discussions like this. I am not a perfect person, but this is how I approach with my clientele. Maybe you approach it differently with your clients or yourself. So if you have any questions, email me. Follow me on Instagram also at UnleashFIT. I don't play around too much with my Facebook, but I think I'm gonna start engaging a little bit also too on that. All right, guys, thank you very much. And I think I got everything. Low reps, yeah, so I explained it was more like the high reps anyway, but the low reps, maybe I'll do another video on that. All right, guys, take it easy, guys.